you are not telling us when this was sent.
Oh boy, y'all.
Like when the campus is on lockdown and he's got to go back, he's got to clean up, then all of a sudden we're in the next day.
I'm sorry.
When his dad...
Hold on. I got to put Candace on pause right now, y'all. Candace Owens is going off, definitely trying to avenge her.
Getting clued in after the picture has been released. They're not telling us
pause.
That, okay?
Goodness. Trying to avenge her quote-unquote brothers, a.k.a. Charlie Kirk's alleged death. All right. Let me turn this all the way down so it doesn't come back on. So anyway, these are my thoughts. I wanted to actually sit down and do like a screen record, but I cannot because I'm on my way. So I'm going to go ahead and do this right now, y'all. And I'll be back on to talk to y'all later. And we're stuck in traffic. So these are my thoughts. First of all, I want to know, why does Candace Owens seem to have more passion, more rage, more emotion than his own alleged wife, Erika, right? That's what I'm not understanding. Let me turn that off. I don't understand why Erika came on talking about Charlie, my husband. And then you have Candace Owens giving a whole freaking soliloquy of her and Charlie and reflecting back on their time spent together, showing images and little clips of videos of his personality. And she's actually, digging deep into, I guess, the investigation and posting about it and talking about it. So it's not to say that Erika is not grieving, but that is a very awkward way to grieve. And it's just reminding me of DJ Twitch Boss. If you remember his wife, I'm trying to think of his real name. I can't think of his real name, but look up DJ Twitch Boss's wife. He used to be the DJ on the Ellen show, and it was alleged that that man took himself out, which I still don't believe that narrative. I want y'all to go back and look at that. This is who Erika Kirk's wife. This is who Erika Kirk reminds me of. They remind me of one another. They remind me of one another, y'all. Go check her out. Just look at their body language. Look at their facial expressions and their emotions. They have a lot of similarities in common. And y'all got to be careful dealing with these type of people because they're very calculated. They're very calculated, y'all. And Candace is, she's on top of it. She is tracking down investigation pieces. She's reading the investigative reports. She's asking questions. She's making phone calls. She's sending text messages. She's demanding answers. All right. And she did another live stream, I think yesterday, that it's already at, I forgot how many views in that many hours. Like, people are really invested into this whole Charlie Kirk situation. To my people, all right, know who you are, my indigenous people of this land. Y'all already know what to do. Stand down, stand down. Heute ist Mittwoch. Today is Wednesday, right? Have a wonderful Wednesday. Have a prosperous Wednesday. Have a prosperous week. I know that they're going to try to switch this narrative about, oh, it's the Democrats, oh, it's the liberals. And if you are melanated and you vote that way because you're misinformed, miseducated on what the Democrats have done to this country and the history behind it, I understand, because they do a really good job at misleading people on purpose, right? So, and I want to say this, it seems like they're trying to put a narrative out there that the reason this happened is because allegedly Tyler Robinson's roommate was a transdresser or whatever, a male trying to dress like a female, and they allegedly were involved in a relationship. So these people are very creative, and this is where the plot twist, right? They're gonna, it's kind of like the 9/11 thing and the Boston Marathon situation, where they keep adding layers and layers onto it, just like the Sandy Hook situation, where they keep on adding on to it because they know that people are emotionally invested. But I have learned over the years, because I used to get emotionally invested in this stuff. I was emotionally invested in the Sandy Hook shooting when it took place, the alleged Sandy Hook shooting, right? Until I started actually digging deeper and finding out the truth behind these lies that they pose to the American people, right? And a lot of people outside of the nation and outside of America are aware. They are aware that our government lies to us, but a lot of American people are not aware of it, right? So even if it's true that Charlie Kirk did pass away in his untimely demise, even if that's the case, I feel that they are going to spin this narrative and utilize this how they want to use it. So they're targeting, it seems like, the transgender community. That's what it seems like to me. Not that I'm in favor of men being women and women being men, because I believe that the divine creator made you who you were meant to be. But I feel like they're also going to be targeting, quote unquote, the left, the Democrat, and the liberals. And do I believe, in a certain political party? No, I don't, because I feel like these titles were orchestrated and placed here for you to pick a side. And I just don't believe in all of that, y'all. I already told you I believe in being an individual thinker, using your divine logic that the creator gave you, a brain for a reason, and being able to disseminate and decipher information for yourself. You don't have to be placed in a box, in a category. Every time you fill out a job application, I feel like you should not have to be placed in a box, in a category. Whenever you fill out any type of application, there's always a box and a freaking category. And so this is, to me, the agenda that they are superimposing upon the public that are invested in this story. But my melanated people, what this is all about. Y'all are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Standing down. I want you to reunite and unite in unity. I want y'all at this time of, alleged chaos and all of this stuff that they're conjuring up. I want y'all to just keep reading, educate yourself. Like I said, be with nature, be calm, be peaceful, enjoy your lives, enjoy your lives and celebrate your days. Don't get too caught up in this chaos that they are perpetuating, because what we're not going to do is we're not going to panic. We're not going to panic in all of this stuff that they're feeding us. This is their war to fight. This is what they came up with. These are the people they affiliated themselves with. They have their own narratives. They have their own agendas. They never wanted our say-so. They never really cared about our votes, about what we have to say. They disenfranchised us financially in every facet that they can. And they take advantage of, us in every way that they can when something happens to us. So I want y'all to focus on yourselves. Don't be too invested in this Charlie Kirk situation. I know people are looking at it because, they are suspicious and they are curious about it, but don't feed into it too much, y'all. Because when have they ever really fed into anything that we had going on, unless it was to benefit themselves, all right? Unless it was for the benefit of themselves. So don't you be too emotionally invested in this stuff, Don't let it ruin your day and all of that. You didn't know this. He was a stranger, and I understand, because I know how people felt about Michael Jackson, y'all. Now, Michael Jackson had people really messed up out here, and so did Aaliyah. But y'all, we have to really put things into perspective. We did not personally know these people, all right? They were not your family members. They were not your friends. These are not people that you know personally. So just really put your priorities in order. And I am going to sign out because I'm almost at my destination, y'all. I'll be back on here to address y'all later. But I thought it was real interesting how Candace Owens is going way harder than his wife went in her speech. I found that very interesting, y'all. What are your thoughts? Let me know. I want y'all to continue to walk in your divinity. Special shout out to all y'all. Continue to stay, in good energy. Celebrate yourselves, and I'll talk to y'all later. Stay blessed. Signing out.
become increasingly more radical, increasingly more dangerous, and just sort of off the rails. They said that
the plot thickens. The plot thickens, y'all. The plot freaking thickens about this whole Charlie Kirk debacle. Okay, so basically Candace does not believe the media, which I cannot blame her. I don't blame Candace one bit at all about the media. We know how they lie. They have always lied to us, right? Since the inception of this country and the conquering of this country by the quote-unquote colonizers, the tyranny that this country has been through, with the infliction of, melanated people going through what they've gone through. They've always lied, and they are swindlers, they are deceivers, and they are mischievous. So what makes us think they would not be practicing those same behaviors today? They've always been this way. So what makes us think this is any different? I feel that they're going to keep adding on layers to these lies, y'all. It just gets more and more vicious over time. I'm not believing some of the stuff that I'm hearing either, so I could see why Candace Owens is questioning a lot of this stuff. But there are other things that are going on in the world besides just the Charlie Kirk situation, y'all. There are children being taken. There are children that are missing. There are children being abused. There are children that are mishandled every single day, and I don't hear anybody talking about it. I don't hear anybody basically orchestrating a major investigation. I don't see this all over the news. I don't hear all of that. I'm sorry, I got a text message coming through. So my question is, how is it that Charlie Kirk is on the priority list all of a sudden? Right? Thousands of children coming up missing. Mothers without their children, fathers without their children, siblings without their brothers and sisters, cousins. It's so interesting how the news picks and chooses and decides what they want to give their attention to, y'all. I've been talking about these missing girls leading up to this whole Charlie Kirk situation. Y'all, and every time I try to talk about this, or if I have some type of thing that I'm trying to accomplish, I notice that I start getting text messages. I start getting phone calls, all these interruptions. It never fails, y'all. That's just the way that the enemy works. It's a very demonic force in America. It's a very demonic force in this world. And they don't like the innocence of children. They don't like the innocence of children. Anyway, you let me know what your thoughts are. Why do you think they are giving so much attention to Charlie Kirk all of a sudden? Because like I said, I didn't know who he was until a few days ago, until this whole thing took place. And I find it very interesting. I had to put my scarf back on, y'all, because my hair frizzed the freak up. I got in the car and I saw my hair. I said, ain't no way. I was like, let me go ahead and put this scarf back on my head. Yeah, I'm on a little mini break. I'm gonna go in here and get something to eat real quick, and I'll tune in with y'all later.